Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for our D211 Virtual Career Expo. My name is Besa Sadiku, and I'm the Career Advisor for Fremd High School. Also here with us tonight is Ms. Liliana Pertl, the Student Service Career Counselor for Schaumburg High School. We will be moderating this session tonight together.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for jumping on this evening. As mentioned, I am the career counselor at Schaumburg High School, and I will be here to help with any questions that you may have at the end.
Before we get started, if everyone viewing from home could please click on the attendance link that we have dropped in the chat bar. It will take you to a quick survey so we know who is joining us tonight. We appreciate your help with this. Tonight, we have a wonderful group of speakers that will be discussing their careers in agriculture, food and natural resources, and manufacturing. Our guest speakers tonight are Sophia Simone and Emily Engler from Gulf Rose Animal Hospital, Dan O'Brien from Illinois Arborist Association, Evelyn Saylor from Industry Consortium for Advanced Technical Training, or ICAT Apprenticeship Program, and Ms. Kathleen Burley, the Greater Chicago Advanced Manufacturing Partnership, or GCAM. Without any further delay, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Ms. Sophia Simone.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sophia Simone. I'm a veterinarian at Gulf Rose Animal Hospital, and it's lovely to be on here with you guys. So kind of just jumping into it, our day-to-day activities look like seeing our patients, which are predominantly dogs and cats, and doing screening physical exams, doing screening blood work, urine testing, just to check up on the general wellness of our pets. And then we also do emergency as well. So with emergency medicine, we'll see patients that come in for unplanned visits that need further diagnostics like chest x-rays, abdominal x-rays, and just doing more intensive investigating as to why our pet's not feeling well. Kind of what schooling looks like for us is we generally do a bachelor degree. It's usually Bachelor of Science, to meet the requirements to get into vet school. And for vet school, it's a doctorate program, and generally there's a few throughout the country that you could go to, but there's also ones on the islands. So I actually went to Ross University, which is on St. Kitts, and then we do our clinical training at a stateside school. So it was kind of a nice opportunity to travel a little bit and experience another culture, and then do further training at a stateside school. Generally, kind of the characteristics that you need to get into veterinary medicine is being really a hard worker and just really being excited about the career. I think if you really have a passion for it, it'll really just drive you, and the excitement for medicine will kind of, really be what's motivating you to get through school and put in the hard hours. It's really science and math based in undergraduate studies. And then once you kind of get into the doctorate of medicine program, that's kind of the graduate study school, you go through kind of more training on hands-on medicine and working in a hospital setting. And that's kind of the synopsis of veterinary medicine.
Hi there, I'm Emily Engler. I'm a certified vet tech over at Gulf Rose Animal Hospital. I've been there for about 4 years, and it's kind of fun. We kind of see a mixture of general practice. So when pets receive vaccines, and sometimes we see pets when they're sick. We do have a ICU, so we do keep some inpatients. So sometimes they stay the night, sometimes they stay a couple nights. So I kind of like it because I get to bond with my patients. I get to administer medications, take them outside to go on walks and feed them. We're pretty much our veterinarian's right-hand man, where we go out into the exam rooms with our doctors, help them do their exams, help them give their vaccines, help them do the blood. And we are able to administer medications. We are able to take x-rays, obtain urine samples, and we get to run different chemistries, any blood work, urinalysis in-house. Some characteristics are kind of that you want to be patient, because we do have some, cats and dogs that are a little nervous and shy, and you have to have patience just, for them to kind of warm up to you. You also want to kind of be like on high alert, making sure everybody's staying safe. Nobody's going to get hurt or anything like that. Yeah.
Thank you, Sophia and Emily. Thank you for keeping safe our pets, our kids. I don't know what they would do without dogs and cats, and we appreciate really your service. Let's go next to our next panelist, Dan O'Brien.
There we go. My name is Daniel O'Brien. I'm a certified arborist and a part of the Illinois Arborist Association. Just came off from being the industrial director for them, actually. Many years back in the fabled 90s, I was one of you guys. I was a District 211 student over at Conant. And if anyone had told me that I could have taken my love for outdoor adventure gym and biology and make a career out of it, I would have jumped right on it. But it took a little time to find my way there. So as a certified arborist, I am a tree doctor. My job is to take care of trees. So being an arborist, there's lots of hats you could wear. But my primary goal was plant healthcare, which was protection of trees from insects, disease. Since you guys have all been alive, we've been dealing with the emerald ash borer problem with ash trees dying all over the place. And me and the team that I worked with saved thousands of them that are still standing today. So that's pretty neat. It just helps the environment, helps our climate change and all the other big problems that are going on out there. Again, being an arborist, it's lots of different hats. There's general tree work, which are the guys and gals that are out there climbing trees, cutting down trees, properly pruning trees, going out after storm damage. There's research arborists who do all the research on different diseases or how trees grow or which trees grow better in better situations. There's educational arborists who train the next generation of arborists, which is really neat. The list goes on and on. Probably the most common one you guys might run into is municipal arborists, and they take care of the trees and shrubs for city properties. In order to become an arborist, there's 3 ways in. You can go to a 4-year college and get a degree in a related field, and then you can instantly go and take your test afterwards. Or you can go to get a 2-year degree in a related field and then work in the green industry for 2 years, and then you can take the test. Or you can do what I did, which is work in the green industry for 3 years, and then you can take the test. Once you pass it, the world opens up for you. It's pretty neat. Let's see here. I have all sorts of notes all over the place here. And then even beyond that, there's a whole bunch of different certifications you can go to specialize even further from just getting your basic certification. Our day-to-day for me, back when I was working out in the field, I would actually meet with clients, walk around their properties, take a look at their trees, see how everything's doing, and come up with plans on taking care of the trees, making sure they're staying insect disease-free, proper fertilization, organic soil treatments, and that sort of stuff to try to help our urban soils to simulate what the forest floor would normally be doing. So yeah. Some of the other things I managed to do in my time in the industry is I also worked in woodland restoration for habitat of endangered species, and also just trying to revive our native lands from all the invasive bad plants that have grown in there, buckthorn, honeysuckle, that sort of stuff, cutting it out, basically removing it and getting it out of there. So that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for doing what you do. We love the trees where we live in this area. And thank you for sharing this career information with our students and our guests. Next, let's hear from Evelyn from ICAT, Apprenticeship Program.
There, unmute worked. All right, so the ICAT Apprenticeship Program is in advanced manufacturing. Now, this is the industry where almost everything that you touch every day has come through some manufacturer. These were jobs that were marked as essential workers during the pandemic. So these employees did not lose their jobs while they were working. Now, apprenticeships, these are different from internships. An internship is a part-time position. You may or may not be paid. It is within your career field, and you don't necessarily have a job guarantee when you complete it. An apprenticeship is completely different. You are primarily an employee of that company, specialty as a trainee. So they are training you to a specific job. They're paying you for the hours that you're working and training. You're getting on-the-job training for the registered apprenticeship, and they're sending you to school. So you're getting an AAS degree, the Associate in Applied Science, at a local community college. In this case, it could be Harper. There are eight positions at 4 companies that are hiring in the Harper district this year. They're paying for the AAS degree for that specific job. Now, there's 2 career fields that you can go into for the companies that are in the Harper district: the advanced manufacturing tech and the mechatronics tech. The difference between the two, these are the people who repair the machines that are on the floor, maintain and repair them and keep them running. If they're not running, the company's not making money. So these are essential and important jobs. The difference is that the mechatronics tech, these are the machines that have robotic arms. So you're learning a little more about the hydraulics and pneumatics and PLC programming. If you like to work with your hands, if you like to solve problems and love to get into an engine, if you like to repair cars, those are the types of things that indicate this might be a good career path for you. You may be taking some courses at your high school in possibly CNC or some other mill and lathe or welding or something. This also indicates that this might be a good career path for you. You get to actually do it. Now, what's the difference between this and say something like engineering? Because we have a lot of people who say, okay, I'm going to go into manufacturing and I'll be an engineer. There's a difference between what those two people do. An engineer, you have to be prepared to sit in an office for most of your work. You're going to be working on the computer and doing all the design. You might get on the floor once in a while, but you're mostly in the office. These jobs are the hands-on jobs. You're the one out there touching that machine. It's your baby. You got to take care of it. Whatever machines are on that floor, you become that expert. So in 3 years, you're doing the training and the education. You get the AES degree, you get the DOL certification. With ICAT, there's a 3rd credential. You test in the 2nd and 3rd year, and it's an international credential. So this says internationally, you have this skill set and you can get a job anywhere in the world. Then you have a job guarantee for 2 years at that company for the position you just trained for. So it is a 5-year commitment with ICAT. Harper College does offer other apprenticeships, and you can check those out. Please do. I know they have them in other industries. They function pretty much the same way. We also have opportunities in the Elgin district. So if CNC is what you're looking for, we have 3 opportunities in the Elgin district for that career path. I think I covered almost everything. One piece of career advice: communication is so incredibly vital and important no matter what area you're going into. This starts from the beginning in that interview, because you are interviewing for these positions. The company's hiring a trainee. You have to be answering those emails, answering those voicemails. If you can't make it to an interview, you have to communicate. I have a problem. I need to change my appointment. Don't just ignore it and pretend it's going to be fine, because it's not. This is your first impression. It continues on the job. You need to be able to communicate with the people you're working with. You have to, if there's multiple of you working on the same machine, be very aware that they have to know where you stopped if you have to leave on your shift and they're going to take over, and what you're waiting for if you're waiting for a part. And it's communication cannot be overstated. I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Evelyn. Before we move to Miss Kathy, just a reminder for all of our guests that are viewing this session from home, that you can submit the questions via the Q&A tab, and we'll have our panelists to answer. If not into this during this session, we can get the answers via email and then post them into our website. So now let's hear from Kathy.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Kathleen Burley. I'm the Executive Director for GCAMP, better known as the Greater Chicago Advanced Manufacturing Partnership. So we are a nonprofit organization here in the area, And we're different from everybody else. Well, similar to ICAT in that we work with a lot of different students at a lot of different schools. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the types of positions that we work with students. First of all, I will tell you that manufacturing careers are well paying and high need, with baby boomers retiring in record numbers. Everything we touched, as Evelyn said, everything is manufactured. And actually Illinois is #1, I believe, in food manufacturing. So, you know, the packet of donuts that you eat, everything is manufactured. Everything that you touch and everything that you see is manufactured. So if you talk about a stable career, manufacturing is always going to be there. Many manufacturers, such as the ones that work with ICAT, offer paid apprenticeships. Tuition reimbursement is also another way. They do what we call OJT, so on the job training, or a combination of their. So you basically can be debt free and earn while you learn, if that's something that you're interested in going into. It's great for hands-on learners and those that like to tinker and make things. And that includes some of you, some of the gals out there who like to craft, you know, 3D printers, and there's just a lot of different hands-on type work with manufacturing. There's also the engineering side of things, some behind the desk, but and engineers work very closely with manufacturing on the floor production. So, so if you went into manufacturing, if you go into, say, engineering, it's always important also to take some hands-on manufacturing classes to get that feel. Now, the same thing for your hands-on. It's always good to just, you know, make sure that you're taking some of those classes at school, some of the autos classes. You wouldn't think that autos is connected necessarily to manufacturing, but a lot of auto students end up in manufacturing because, again, it's that hands-on type tactile learning. So as far as what types, you know, there's something called Industry 4.0. So we talk about, you know, you learn about the Industrial Revolution and the different processes we've gotten, computers through years. I think that was in one of those, Industry 3.0, maybe 2.0. The Industry 4.0 is actually machines talking to each other. And so that's the exciting thing about manufacturing, is it's not exactly what your parents and your grandparents know as manufacturing. It's not dirty, dingy. It can be. They're not all clean, eat off the floor places, but it's moving towards this technology, advanced technology. That's why we call it, you know, it's advanced technology. And we do robotics and the mechatronics, which is working with robotics and automation. When you walk into a factory where it used to be you'd have one machinist at one machine, now you have a whole row of machines and one technician. So if you want to talk about education, so in high school, you have the option of taking some of these classes. You have the option of doing dual credit with Harper College, which earns you college credits towards some of these careers. You can also, after graduation, you can go to community college. A lot of manufacturing positions, you don't need a 2 or a 4-year degree. They have stackable credentials, such as, and I won't go into which ones those are. A lot of them are through your high school. Some of them, I know that the ICAT apprenticeship program uses credentials. So those are the types of credentials that you can take and use on any job you go to. Doesn't mean you need a 4-year degree for that. Sometimes if you get a 4-year degree, I mean, you can still come into manufacturing, but you don't necessarily need that kind of an education. There are a lot of high paying jobs. I mean, you can plan on coming out of high school, going into some of these jobs at $16, $18 an hour and quickly advance. If you have a few of these credentials through high school, or if you get them through on-the-job training after graduation, you quickly are up to $20, $22 an hour. And when your friends graduate college, you could very well be advanced to where they are starting out without the college debt. So I could go on and on, but that's generally what I would say, if I was going to give a piece of advice, if you're possibly interested, is work in the autos department, join the autos club, do a robot rumble competition. Some of the clubs that are at the high school, they have the robots, they have, I don't know if they have FIRST Robotics, but they have all kinds of different hands-on type computer classes. Computers are very integrated with manufacturing. Any of that is going to prepare you for manufacturing careers. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, for information and advice. Let's move to Dan again.
Alrighty, yeah, going over my notes, I found a few other things that I probably should point out. So when I was talking before about the ways of getting qualified for the test, one of the things I forgot to bring up is some of the colleges around our area do offer programs that coincide right along with it. Down at SIU, actually, I get to go down there once a year and do a week of teaching with them, which is kind of neat. College of Lake County or Mid-State Technical College in Wisconsin, they've got a great program also. And the Illinois Arborist Association supports all these groups too. The other thing that is new to the Chicagoland area is there's a group called Open Land Chicago, and you can get a paid internship with them, and they teach you everything you need to know while you're out there taking care of Chicago green spaces. So you're taking care of our hometown, and you're getting the education that you need, and you're making money. And very much like what Kathleen just explained, in the end, when you walk away with your certification, you have zero student debt, and it's pretty amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to point out those few things too.
Thank you, Dan. Lily?
Yeah, actually, thank you, Dan, for bringing that up. Any of the other industries on here have internships for our seniors or our juniors? Those are always questions we are getting. How can they get started with internships as high school students? So please take a minute if you have something.
Yeah, that was me. I actually forgot to say, so one of the more important things that GCamp does do is we work within the manufacturing classes, the autos classes, the career tech departments to try to match up students who are interested in manufacturing careers, finding them summer internships or after school jobs, and getting them involved so they can get a little bit of hands-on experience. They're all paid. So if it's something that you're interested in, you're taking a few classes and you want to try an internship, speak with one of your career advisors, we can help set that up.
Evelyn, Sophia, do you guys offer internships at your establishments?
Yeah, so for veterinary medicine, what we'll do is we will hire students as hospital assistants, and it kind of just helps to kind of get the familiar groove of what a hospital flow kind of looks like. The kind of jobs that we're doing are usually more kennel assistant, but it's really good to just kind of see what the layout of the hospital looks like, see kind of what surgery looks like, and see how we take blood and do that kind of more hands-on technical skill. It can be hard to get hands-on training for sure when we're in high school or even when we're doing our bachelor degree in university, just because you do need a lot of schooling before you can kind of step into to do more of the veterinary side of things. But just kind of working at a hospital as an assistant would be a great way to get more experience, and kind of to practice, taking a temperature, measuring a heart rate or a respiratory rate, those kinds of things. Just taking vitals can be really helpful too.
Great, thank you. Evelyn, do you offer internships for high school students?
Most of our companies do not. You do, but it is few and far between. Best way is to go through Kathleen. She has the connection to those companies that are open to having high school students come in, but many of ours are very restricted or feel very restricted by that 18-year-old restrictions on certain machines. And so there is some risk involved in that. And there's certain jobs that they cannot do. And so some companies just are not set up for that. Now, many of our companies will do a summer internship before they select their apprentices. This is after senior graduation. Seniors only can apply, no one before that. You have to have graduated high school or gotten a GED to do our positions, because it is going for a college degree at the community college. So they'll do the internship during the summer and then choose their apprentices from that pool.
Great, thank you.
You're
I want to
welcome.
make sure we get to some of our questions from our guests here. I think this is for our veterinarians. How and where can students get hand-on experiences with animals when they're high school students? I think some of our students have a really hard time getting into working with animals besides like working at a shelter. So any experience that our students can get as students while they're in high school?
Sure, definitely a good question. It is really difficult to kind of get started, and I definitely feel that. I definitely kind of struggled too when I was in high school trying to find a place to get, more hands-on experience. I would say shelters would be a good option. Really just reaching out to different hospitals with your resume. It might not be very glamorous at the beginning doing the kennel assistant work, but I would say just kind of being bold and having a good laid out resume, and showing up and asking, for an interview to do kind of the kennel assistant job. In university, there's a lot of opportunities to do research and work with professors that have animal-based studies. There are a lot of sectors in veterinary medicine too. So we do general practice and emergency, small animals, so dogs and cats. Certainly quite a wide range too. Like some people go into farm animal and do public health work. Some veterinarians will go and do wildlife and zoo medicine. And there are specialties in the veterinary field as well. So you can do, further education after you get your doctorate of veterinary medicine and go into something like radiology, where you're reading x-rays and specializing in that, or neurology or cardiology and those kinds of things. But it is kind of difficult. So I definitely feel you guys in just terms of getting a job, but I'd say reaching out to hospitals with a resume and just being really confident in yourself and trying to get that interview to start as a kennel assistant would be the best way.
Great, thank you. One more question for you ladies. How much schooling is required to become a vet tech or a veterinarian?
So to be a vet tech, some clinics will train you on the job. So if you're hired in as like a kennel assistant and you kind of vocalize saying, hey, I want to do more, a lot of clinics will train you on the job. If you're looking to go to school, there's a couple different options. There's schooling in Tinley Park called Fox College. That was just an 18-month program, which was really nice because you just went year-round and you kind of got out a little sooner. There's a school, Joliet Junior College, which is a 2-year program. And then a place out in Rockford that's also, I believe, a 2-year program. And then there's also an online schooling that you can go through, which is kind of nice because you kind of go at your own pace. So you can either finish it really fast, or if you're doing other things, you can kind of take it as slow as you need to.
For veterinarians, so we do our 4 years of Bachelor's of Science. That's your undergraduate degree, and then you apply to vet school, which is your doctorate of veterinary medicine. So that is a graduate school. So that lasts 4 years. So it's 8 years of post-high school schooling. And then if you wanted to specialize in something like cardiology or neurology, you would do a 1-year internship after your doctorate, and then 3 years of residency after that. And your doctor of veterinary medicine, you usually do 3 years of preclinical school, and then your last year is in a hospital setting, and you get to work closely with the big specialties. So you kind of get exposed to the kind of higher level medicine of those specialties. So it is 8 years of schooling for the most paths. Ross University, I only had to do 3 years of undergraduate studies. So I was actually able to, skip a year of schooling, which was kind of nice. It can be quite difficult to get into a doctorate of veterinary medicine program. So most places do require that 4-year of undergraduate, but some people are able to get in with just 3 years of their Bachelor's of Science, just kind of completing the prerequisites that the next level of schooling requires. I think University of Illinois and University of Wisconsin-Madison are the two closest veterinary schools to us in our proximity.
Great, thank you. Besa?
Thank you. Thank you, Sophia and Emily, for sharing all this information with us. Dan, as a closing remark.
Yes, so back to the Arborist side of things, we get our certification through the International Society of Arboriculture, which means your certification carries around the world. That's a kind of a neat thing because arborists are in demand in every single country right now. We have job placement available through our through the ISA and also locally here, the Illinois Arborist Association, both sites, instant job placement, which is pretty neat. But you know, I myself, being an arborist, has taken me across the country, going to various places to look at things. You know, my goal is still to get out west, go see redwoods and go climb those, which would be really neat. But you know, pre-pandemic, I actually was about to go out to Austria. So you know, being an arborist almost took me around the world, which would have been pretty neat too. So really, it's a situation where the sky's the limit, and you're never held down to a location or you know. Or even a country. So that was all I wanted to toss in there.
Thank
you, Dan. Thank you, everyone, for sharing and volunteering your time to speak to our students today. I understand we had really limited amount of time today, and we were not able to answer all of the questions. If there's more questions that students would like to be answered, please email them to me at bisadiku@d211.org, and we'll get these questions answered by our wonderful panelists tonight, and we'll make sure to place them in our website. Lily?
Just a closing remark here. Students, parents, if you are on still, I just urge you to please keep looking, keep exploring, and all of our students at District 211 have a counselor that they are assigned to. That is your first person to reach out to, make an appointment, talk about what our careers, or if students aren't aware of where to start, all of our students on their iPads have a Zello app where you can go ahead, click on that, log in with your Google credentials, and go ahead and take a career interest survey where it tells you what are some possible careers based on things that you like right now as a student. So that is a great place to start as well. Also, please be aware that all student services in each of our buildings has a career track, has a career advisor, has a scholarship opportunities that we can help you obtain or try to look for, job opportunities as high school students, and then again, planning those college visits. So these are all things that your counselors can help you at school. Please reach out and let us know how we can help you during this process.
Thank you to all of our panelists and our guests for joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of your night.